Welcome to Spicy Ladies. Some women walk into a room and don't ask for attention. The silence bends around them instead. There's something about a Sigma female that people just can't pin down. She doesn't talk the loudest, chase the spotlight, or dress herself up for approval. And yet, she gets noticed. Not because she's trying to, but because she operates from a place of depth and quiet confidence that most people aren't used to. She's hard to read and even harder to figure out. That alone leaves people scratching their heads, questioning their own assumptions. She's kind but distant, present but not available. She can hold a conversation but doesn't need small talk. She can be warm yet somehow untouchable. And that's where the confusion begins. People are used to categories. They want to label someone as this or that. But the Sigma female slips through all the definitions. She's her own category, her own rhythm. If you're a Sigma female, understand this. Your difference isn't a flaw. It's your power. You're not too much or too quiet or too intense. You're simply aligned with your own truth. And that truth doesn't always play well with surface level energy, and that's okay. You weren't built for shallow waters. So, if people don't understand you, let them wonder. If they misread you, let them talk. Your job isn't to shrink or translate yourself. Your job is to keep walking in your calm, mysterious strength exactly as you are. That's the kind of woman who doesn't chase attention and yet somehow always has it. Let's get started. The Spicy Ladies. Number 1, she can hold duality without collapsing into either side. Most people pick a side and stay there. They're either soft or strong, kind or blunt, emotional or logical, never both. But the Sigma female doesn't live like that. She holds multiple layers inside her without needing to choose, just one. She can be incredibly gentle with someone going through pain, then switch to brutal honesty with someone who's out of line. Not out of mood swings, but out of precision. She knows what the moment calls for. She's nurturing, but not at the cost of self-respect. She can comfort you, uplift you, support you. But if you cross the line, she won't hesitate to detach completely and move on. There's no guilt, no drama, just a clean, quiet exit. That balance of compassion and clarity is what sets her apart. She's not here to babysit egos. She's here to keep her peace intact. She's emotional, yes, but not ruled by it. Her feelings run deep, but they don't control her decisions. Her intuition is razor sharp, but she still knows when to zoom out and look at the facts. She can trust a gut feeling and read between the lines, but she'll still ask the tough questions and demand truth. That kind of balance confuses people because, let's face it, most are used to one-dimensional personalities. They want to label you soft or cold, feminine or assertive, helper or challenger. But with the Sigma female, none of those labels stick. She shapeshifts without losing her identity. And that's exactly why people struggle to figure her out. She's not unpredictable. She's just not simple. Her duality is her power. She's proof that you don't have to pick a side to be whole. You can hold fire and water inside you and not burn out or drown. And when people finally realize that, when they finally see her for what she truly is, it's usually too late. She's already walked away. Right now, if you're still watching, I hope this video can help you. Your comments motivate me so much, so I can make more videos which you like. So hit that subscribe button and leave me a message. Let's continue. Number 2, she speaks less but knows more than she lets on. In a world where everyone's trying to be the loudest in the room, the Sigma female is the one quietly sitting in the corner saying nothing but noticing everything. People often mistake her silence for being shy, clueless, or uninterested. But what they don't realize is that she's gathering information. She's reading the room, picking up on details most people miss, and piecing together the bigger picture without ever needing to announce it. She doesn't waste words. She doesn't talk just to fill the air. She knows that silence can reveal far more than noise. While others are busy oversharing, trying to impress, or pushing their opinions, she's sitting back, listening, storing, and analyzing. She connects dots quickly. She catches contradictions. She reads between the lines. And when she finally speaks, she doesn't ramble. She lands. Her words are sharp, clear, and unsettlingly accurate. That's what unnerves people. They're not used to someone who doesn't need to dominate a conversation to have power. They're used to people who talk big but think small. She's the opposite. Her silence is full of thought, not emptiness. What makes her even more mysterious is that she never reveals everything she knows. She might understand exactly what someone's trying to hide, but she won't always call it out. She holds that knowledge close, using it only when necessary. And when she does speak on it, she strikes with precision. No fluff, no build-up, just the truth, straight and clean. This quiet confidence throws people off. It makes them second-guess themselves. It makes them wonder what else she knows that she's not saying. That sense of unpredictability is power. So while others are busy being loud to prove something, the Sigma female proves everything without saying much at all. And that in itself is what makes her unforgettable. Number 3, she doesn't play social ping pong. When it comes to social settings, most people are stuck in a game they don't even realize they're playing, what you could call social ping pong. You say something, they say something. You smile, they smile. You act excited, they mirror it. It's an automatic back and forth all about keeping the energy alive, even if it's completely fake. But the Sigma female doesn't do that. She doesn't pretend to be engaged just to keep the vibe going. If the energy feels off, forced, or fake, she won't play along. She won't fake a laugh or nod just to be polite. She lets the awkward silence happen. She lets the conversation fall flat. And that alone leaves people completely thrown off. Why? Because we're so used to people reacting and responding just to avoid discomfort. So, when she doesn't match that rhythm, people assume something's wrong. They think she's rude, arrogant, or shy. But in reality, she's just not interested in performing. She's not cold. She's clear. And if a conversation doesn't feel authentic, she's not going to keep it alive out of obligation. She has no need to keep up appearances. She'd rather be quiet than fake. She's not scared of silence. She's comfortable in it. And if the interaction doesn't naturally flow, she won't force it. That calm detachment, that's her way of protecting her energy, not insulting yours. People who thrive on being liked don't know what to do with that. They're used to social feedback loops. People who nod, agree, and play along. But the Sigma female doesn't live for approval. She doesn't perform to fit in. And when she steps out of that unspoken game, it shakes people up because deep down they're not used to someone who's perfectly fine with not being understood and doesn't need to explain herself either. Number 4, she doesn't need anyone, but she's not bitter. The Sigma female walks through life with a kind of quiet self-sufficiency that makes people pause. She doesn't cling, chase, or look for someone to complete her. She enjoys connection, yes, but she doesn't need it to feel whole. And what really throws people off is that she's not cold or closed off either. She's approachable, warm when she wants to be, and can hold a conversation just fine. But there's a distinct absence of neediness. And in a world built on emotional codependency, that's unsettling. She's not detached because she's angry at the world. She's not alone because she's been hurt too many times. And she's not independent out of spite. It's just that she's genuinely comfortable with herself. She's built a life where her peace doesn't depend on someone else's presence. And that kind of grounded self-reliance confuses people who think being fulfilled must come from outside approval or constant companionship. She doesn't mistake solitude for suffering. To her, time alone is not a punishment. It's a choice. She's not waiting around for someone to make her feel seen or validated. And that drives people crazy, especially those who rely on attention or relationships to feel secure. Being around her forces them to look at their own attachment patterns. It makes them question, why do I feel empty when I'm alone? But she doesn't. It's not that she rejects connection. She just doesn't chase it. And because she's fine either way, people often misunderstand her. They project bitterness onto her, thinking she must be guarded or cold, when in reality she's just whole. She's proof that it's possible to love people without being dependent on them, that you can care without clinging, that you can walk away without crumbling, and that balance, the ability to stand alone without hardening, is rare. It's powerful, and it makes her unforgettable in the best, most confusing way possible. Number 5, she's kind, but you can't access her. She's polite, she's warm, She'll help you without hesitation, listen without interrupting, and treat you with genuine respect. You might even feel special in her presence, like she sees something in you others don't. But the moment you try to get closer, emotionally closer, you hit a wall. Not a rude one, not a cold one, just a quiet, immovable barrier that says you don't get to go further than this. That's the Sigma female's paradox. She's kind but closed, emotionally generous but emotionally untouchable. She gives just enough to make you feel safe, but never enough to fully access her. And that contrast can be maddening, especially to people used to emotionally wide open personalities who wear their hearts on their sleeves. With her, it's different. You might think you're forming a connection only to realize you've been swimming in the shallow end the whole time. She'll offer you insight, maybe even comfort, but she won't unravel in front of you. She won't hand you her soul just because you were nice to her. Her emotional world is her own, and access to it is earned slowly, quietly, and only when she feels it's truly safe. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about protecting her peace. She's seen what happens when people get too close too fast. She's learned that vulnerability, when placed in the wrong hands, turns into ammunition. So now she guards her depth, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. What confuses people most is that she's not cold. She's not distant. She'll smile. She'll help. She'll show real empathy, but you still can't reach her. And for many, that's the most frustrating type of person to meet. Someone who gives warmth without giving access. Someone who seems open but remains a mystery. And that mystery is exactly what keeps her unforgettable. Number 6, she's deep without needing to be dramatic. Some people wear their emotions and complexities like a badge. They want you to see how deep they are. So, they talk in riddles, crave constant validation, or make their struggles the center of every conversation. It's all performative, a way to prove they're not like everyone else. But the Sigma female doesn't need to do all that. Her depth runs quietly. No show, no spectacle. She doesn't broadcast her emotions. She feels deeply, thinks even deeper, but she doesn't need everyone to know. While others feel their thoughts to be seen, she keeps hers tucked beneath layers of silence and subtlety. Her complexity is there, but you have to earn the right to see it. She's not hiding, she's just not performing, and that unsettles people. Because we've been taught to associate depth with drama. We expect intense people to be loud, moody, or constantly expressing something. So when someone like her walks into a room calm and unreadable, yet clearly holding something powerful within, it throws people off. She doesn't need to talk about her past to prove she's grown. She doesn't need to cry in front of you to prove she cares. Her strength shows in restraint. Her emotions show in her consistency. Her intelligence reveals itself not in how much she says, but in what she chooses not to say. People find themselves trying to figure her out, digging for a reaction, craving a crack in the calm, but she rarely gives it. And that's what makes her so magnetic. She's deep, but she doesn't beg to be understood. She lets people misread her. She lets them wonder. Because to her, true depth doesn't need to explain itself. It just is. And in a world obsessed with overexposure, that kind of quiet power is both confusing and unforgettable. Number 7, she doesn't react the way people expect. Say something meant to provoke her, and she won't bite. Try to jab at her ego, hoping for a reaction, and she remains steady, unshaken. Attempt a guilt trip, expecting her to crumble or apologize, and it flips right back on you. This is where most people hit a wall because her way of handling emotional attacks is completely foreign to them. Her silence or calm isn't a sign of apathy or weakness. It's the exact opposite. It's a quiet kind of power that refuses to feed into the drama. She's mastered emotional neutrality, not because she doesn't feel, but because she controls how she responds. She doesn't give her energy away to petty provocations or manipulative tactics. People are used to reactions, anger, hurt, guilt, or defensiveness. Those are the tools of emotional games, and they expect everyone to play along. But the Sigma female rewrites the rules. Her responses, or lack of them, disarm people. They get frustrated because their usual weapons don't work on her. It's like trying to hit a target that's not there. This ability isn't about suppressing feelings or pretending she doesn't care. It's about choosing what's worth her time and what's not. She doesn't react because she understands that not every battle needs to be fought. And when she does engage, it's deliberate, measured, and effective, never impulsive. Her emotional neutrality makes people uncomfortable because it forces them to face their own neediness, anger, or insecurity. They don't know how to handle someone who stays calm in the storm instead of joining the chaos. And that confuses them more than any outburst ever could. In a world full of loud reactions and emotional roller coasters, her steady calm is a silent kind of strength. And that strength makes her untouchable. Number 8. She doesn't laugh to make others comfortable. Most people are trained without even knowing it to smile, nod, and laugh when something isn't even funny. It's like a social reflex. You laugh to be polite, to make things less awkward, to avoid making someone feel bad. But the Sigma female, she doesn't do that. If she doesn't find it funny, she's not going to laugh. If she's not impressed, she's not going to pretend she is. And no, she's not doing it to be rude. She's doing it to stay real. That's where people start to get uncomfortable. Because we live in a world where fakeness is expected. We praise honesty in theory, but in practice, we punish it. So, when she doesn't play along, when she sits there quiet, unamused, and unmoved, it makes people squirm. They feel judged, even though she's not judging anyone. She's just not interested in faking a reaction to make you feel better about yourself. And here's the twist. Her authenticity exposes people. It reflects back everything they've been doing on autopilot. Every fake laugh, every forced compliment, every moment of pretending to like something just to fit in. When you're around someone who's that raw, that honest, you either respect it or you feel threatened by it. The Sigma female is the kind of woman who can sit in silence and let it speak louder than small talk. She doesn't perform emotions to make things easier. If she smiles, it means something. If she laughs, she really means it. And if she doesn't, don't take it personally. It's just her being real. This makes her unforgettable. Because once you've been around someone who doesn't fake their reactions, you start to question why you ever did. And that's exactly what rattles people the most. She doesn't try to change anyone. She just stays true to herself. And that forces everyone else to take a good hard look at their own mask. Number 9, she learns people fast, then gets bored. The Sigma female doesn't need weeks or months to figure someone out. Give her one good conversation, and she'll already know what kind of person you are. She picks up on tone, body language, energy shifts, word choices, even the things you don't say. While most people are still making surface-level impressions, she's already read the whole script. The truth is, most people run on loops. They say the same things, chase the same validation, tell the same jokes, and repeat the same habits. Once she sees the pattern, it's like watching a movie she's already seen 5 times. At that point, the spark is gone. There's nothing left to uncover, and she starts to emotionally check out. But here's what confuses people. She rarely gives a warning. She doesn't announce she's bored. She doesn't explain that your conversations became predictable. She just attaches quietly, cleanly, and without drama. One day you think everything's fine, and the next she's distant, unavailable, or completely gone. And because she doesn't leave a trail of resentment or drama, people don't even know what went wrong. The truth, nothing happened. She just lost interest. Not out of cruelty, but because she's wired for depth, not repetition. Surface-level talk and fake enthusiasm can't hold her attention. She craves evolution, complexity, honesty, things most people struggle to offer. It's not that she thinks she's better than everyone. She just values her time and emotional energy too much to keep investing in people who never grow, never change, and never surprise her. So, while others mistake her for being cold or distant, the truth is she's just bored of watching the same performance on repeat. When she disappears, it's not a game, it's a quiet statement. I've seen enough. And in a world full of copy-paste personalities, that kind of clarity is both rare and brutally honest. Number 10, she doesn't chase. She doesn't run. She just stays unreachable. The Sigma female doesn't do the usual back and forth that most people rely on to keep things interesting. She's not chasing anyone, and she's not running from anyone either. She's just there, steady, grounded, untouchable. Not in a look at me kind of way, but in a you can't move me kind of way. And that throws people off every single time. In a world built on attention seeking, validation, and subtle manipulation, people assume that everyone is playing some kind of game. They think if someone is distant, it must be a tactic. If someone isn't responding right away, it must be a strategy. But with the Sigma female, that's not the case. She's not withholding attention to build suspense. She's just genuinely uninterested in playing that game in the first place. She's not out to prove her worth. She already knows it. She doesn't need to be wanted to feel valuable. So when people try to bait her with flattery, drama, or false urgency, she doesn't bite. And because that kind of detachment is so rare, most people mistake it for arrogance or emotional coldness. But it's neither. It's clarity. She doesn't need to push people away because she never pulled them in under false pretenses. She doesn't chase love, approval, or attention because she doesn't base her identity on whether or not she receives it. And she doesn't run from anyone either because she has no fear of being known. She's just careful with access. And the truth is, most people don't know how to respond to someone who doesn't react, who doesn't flinch, who doesn't beg, plead, or perform. They keep trying to figure her out, expecting a move. But she doesn't move. She just is quiet, steady, unreachable. Not because she's hiding, but because she doesn't need to be seen to feel real. That's what makes her different. And that's why she remains a mystery no one can solve. Number 11, she can be in a room and not belong to it. She walks into a room, blends in just enough to be polite, maybe even joins the conversation. But if you're really paying attention, you'll notice something feels off. Not in a bad way, just different. She's there, but not really there. Her body might be present, her words might land, but her energy, it's somewhere else entirely. The Sigma female doesn't attach herself to crowds. She doesn't feed off group energy or feel the need to match the mood in the room. She observes, she listens, but she doesn't emotionally plug into the noise. And that subtle detachment, people can feel it even if they can't explain it. To extroverts and attention seekers, this is baffling. How can someone be so here yet so unreachable? They start questioning her. Are you okay? Are you bored? Why are you so quiet? They don't realize that she's fine. She's just not pretending to be interested in things that don't stimulate her soul. She's mastered the art of being socially fluent without becoming emotionally entangled. That's a rare skill. While most people adjust themselves to fit in, she remains completely her own, steady, grounded, untethered. She knows that belonging doesn't always mean blending. And honestly, she has no desire to belong where she doesn't feel truth, depth, or connection. That aura of being both present and distant is what confuses people the most. It makes them question their own sense of belonging because she proves that it's possible to be alone in a crowd and still feel whole. And for those who get it, that quiet presence speaks louder than anything she could ever say. In final words, some women break down, others break open and become someone the world wasn't ready for. Every one of these emotional scars shaped the Sigma female into who she is now. Sharp, grounded, quietly powerful. Not because she was born that way, but because life forced her to adapt. Forced her to see things early, to carry too much, to figure things out without a guidebook. And yet, she didn't fold. She learned. She observed. She built herself from the ground up. If you saw yourself in these stories, know this. You are not damaged. You are defined by depth. You are the one who wasn't protected. So, you learned to become your own protector. You are the one who loved without getting it back. So, you learned to love without losing yourself. You are the one who was misunderstood, underestimated, maybe even punished for being different. But you didn't shrink. You learned to walk alone, and now silence is your strength. You learned to read people, and now you see truth before it's spoken. You learned that love can hurt, and now you love with clarity, not blind hope. Being a Sigma female isn't about fitting into anyone's mold. It's about finally realizing you were never meant to. You are rare. You are unshakable. You are not for everyone. And that's your power. So stop questioning why you are the way you are. You didn't become her by accident. You became her through fire, through silence, through survival. And that woman, you deserve to move through this world knowing she is not broken. She is built brick by brick, scar by scar, strong in ways most people will never understand. And that's what makes you unstoppable. Thank you for watching the Spicy Ladies, and God bless. Stay true to yourself. To all the spicy ladies, make life beautiful. See you in our next video.